good to me. And we understand you are not here by accident on tonight, but by divine appointment. Amen. It's good to be one more time back in God's house. To thank the pastor of this church, Pastor Smith, for having us. Thank Dr. Dimmer for allowing me to stand. One more time, my brother in ministry, thank you. Reverend Small, Pastor Kurtz, thank you on tonight for that very good introduction, amen. Barely legal. I like that. Amen. Turn with me in your Bibles, if you will, to Psalms at number 85. Psalm number 85. Lord, whatever you're doing in this season, don't do it without me. Don't do it without me. Lord, whatever you're doing this season, please don't do it without me. Don't do it without me. Lord, if you're healing in this season, please don't do it without. Anybody don't want him to do it without you? Don't do it without me. They would say, Lord, if you're blessing in this season, don't do it without me. Don't do it without me. Most holy and righteous Father, Father, we come once more again, Father, saying thank you. Father, how we thank you for your Son Jesus. Father, how you allowed him to die and go to Calvary's Hill. But on the third day rise again, oh God. Father, we ask now that you be a God in the midst of this revival, oh God. Father, touch every man, touch every woman, boy, and girl. Father, touch every troubled mind, every aching heart right now, Jesus. Father, give me power as I stand in John's shoes, oh God. Father, dunamis power to preach your word. Father, speak clearly through me so that it may draw your people more nearly and dearly toward you. Father, we'll be careful to give you all of the praise, all of the glory, and in Jesus' name, the people of God said amen. Amen. Psalm number 85 and verse 6. When you have it, you can say amen. Amen. And just the A section of the verse. Writer says, will thou not revive us again? Amen. If you're not too antisocial, ugly, or mean, turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor, I'm in need of revival. That person didn't shout, you ought to find you somebody else. This time find you somebody that look like they're ready to have church and say, neighbor, I'm in need of revival. Amen. Give God a hand for what he's about to tell you. I'm in need of revival. Revival can be defined in many different ways. By definition, it can be an improvement in the condition or the strength of something. An improvement in the condition or strength of an object. Can also be defined as a new production of a similar work. A new production of a similar work. Can also be defined as to restore to life or to restore to consciousness. When we look at the avenues of what revival is, we begin to understand the concept of what revival really means. Because when we look at this book called the Bible, and this faith that is called Christianity, it is built upon the concept of revival. When you look at these people who are called types of Christ, as in the first coming of their type, is when we look at the prophet Elijah. Elijah raises a widow's son from the dead. And the widow's faith began to build on the fact that her son had been revived. And since this definition of revival can mean an improvement of strength or an improvement of your condition, when we look at the New Testament miracles of Jesus, these miracles point toward the concept of revival. Why do they point toward the concept of revival? Because if Jesus heals a man who's been blind, he's improved that man's condition. If he can touch a man who's been lame for 42 years, make the man rise up, take up his bed and walk, he's revived the power of his legs. And if God can raise Jesus from the dead, if God can raise Jesus who's been down in a tomb for 3 long days, raise him early on Sunday morning with power in his hand, then our faith is built upon the fact that things can be revived. But when you look at this thing called revival, revival also suggests, Pastor Chris, that sometimes things have to die. Revival suggests that things have to die. See, it's some dead stuff up in this sanctuary on this evening. It's some dead stuff sitting in the pews on this evening. You've got lost your consciousness. You've been sitting here, and in your mind you saw the preachers walking in as a group, and a reverend quoting Psalm number 23, saying that the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. Once they get up here, you can see the choir sing some long, sad song all week long. Somebody get up, make the acknowledgement. Somebody read the resolution. Somebody else get up, do the funeral oration. Let the choir sing another long, sad song. And then we going to follow you out to your car. Then the preacher going to say these words: for as much as it pleased the Almighty God to take out of this world you who've been dead, we therefore commit his or her body to the ground, earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. It's some dead stuff up in this room on tonight. There's some dead stuff up in here. If you come to revival on tonight, it's obvious that some things are either in process of dying or some things that already died in your life. Yeah, you may as well be honest in this place on tonight that somebody got a life seems to be down in the dumps. You don't know how you're going to make it to tomorrow. Somebody don't know how they're going to pay their bills next week. You don't know if you're going to have a house to live in next month. Some things are dying in your life. But even when some things are dying in your life, Paul said that all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. If some things are dying in your life, can I encourage you on tonight? Y'all don't sound like you want to be encouraged tonight. I said, can I encourage you since some things are dying in your life? David said that weeping may endure for just a night, but joy comes early in the morning. If that didn't get you, James chapter 1 said, no matter what you're going through, you ought to count it all joy. And if I had some folks in here tonight that knew some stuff was dying, you would just begin to praise God for revival. Maybe there's some folks in here who need some stuff restored tonight. Maybe you need some stuff for yourself tonight. And you're counting on God to do whatever it is that you want him to do. But can I make a suggestion for y'all who ain't moved and don't want revival? You ought to, for you who want revival, you ought to just begin to praise God, because I know that he's going to give me revival. You came here just to look, be cool. I ain't talking to you. But if you came for revival on the night, there ought to be a praise on your lips. David said, I will bless the Lord at all times. And his praises shall continually be in my mouth. That means over and over and over. Even when some things are dying, I got to praise him anyway. Some folks in here who still don't know you dead. Let me tell you how you know you dead. You ain't got no vision, because you're the one always saying, I can't see it, Rev. I can't see how we gonna do that, Pastor. You dead. How you know you dead? You ain't moved yet. You ain't even trying to move your ministry. You ain't told nobody about the goodness of Jesus. You dead. When we seek to understand this text tonight, beloved, what we must first understand in depth is what is necessary and essential for revival to take place in the heart of the believer as well as in the church. Number one, the first thing that we must understand is that there first must be a confession of need for revival. When we look at this text in Psalm number 85, this is really the psalmist praying for mercy for Israel in a time of distress. Because it is believed that the psalm was either written during Babylonian captivity or shortly after they had been released out of bondage from Babylon. But what does that suggest to us, children of God, is that regardless of the time that the psalm is written, the psalmist still says, I need revival. Okay, here it is. This text could have taken place in one of three times. It could have taken place in the time when he was in distress and he said, Lord, I need revival because some things have already died in life. Okay, if it didn't take place then, it could have taken place after he had been released from bondage. What does that suggest? That even when I'm up and things are going my way, even when I got money in my pocket, even when I'm driving nice cars, living in a nice house, that at some point, trouble is going to come up in my zip code, GPS, my address, show up at the door with a U-Haul and stay a while. And even when I'm up, I know that times are liable to get worse, so I still need revival in my life. Pastor, when there may have been a rebellion at the time, which means he wasn't in bondage, but he wasn't all the way free. Meaning things were just in the in-between times, and he said, even when I'm up, even when I'm down, even when things are okay in my life, I still need revival. See, some folks, you got to understand and really admit to God that yes, I need revival. When I'm up, I need revival. When it gets worse, I need revival. When everything is okay in life, I still need revival. Because prayer is inviting God to tell God that now I need you now, God. Not to say that God didn't know your need, but to invite God to help your need. So God, I'm praying to you now because I realize that I need you and I can't make it without you. I need revival. Why do I need revival? Because there's some folk that get on my nerves. Don't play holy on me, because there's some folk get on your nerve too. But I need revival for that part of my life, and me praying about it invites God to touch my situation. It is. First, there's a confession for the need of a revival, but then there's a realization that revival is possible. Because the psalmist in verses 1 through 3, he reminds God of the things that God had did already. Because he said, thou hast brought back the captivity of Jacob. Thou hast forgiven the iniquity of thy people and has covered all of their sins. So he says, God, I've seen the stuff that you did for Israel before. I've seen what you did before Israel goes back into Babylonian captivity. So the things that I've seen you do before, I know that they are still possible right now. Because I can see the psalmist saying, God, you gave Abraham a ram in the bush on Mount Moriah, so I'm sure that you can send me a ram in the bush right now. You opened the Red Sea for Moses while Pharaoh was chasing him. When he got to the other side, you allowed the water to drown Pharaoh in his army, so I know that you can open a Red Sea in my life. He says you forgave David, so you can forgive me. He said you got Daniel's out of the lion's den, so you can do it for me. You did all this stuff for everybody else, so I know that you can still do it for me. You revived Lazarus in John chapter 11, so I know that you're able to revive some stuff in my life. See, some of y'all ain't said nothing. Let me help you out. Go back to your house. Go to your personal file cabinet, pull God's resume and look at everything that God has done for you, and you know that if he done it before, he can do it again. God, if you heal my mama, I know you can do it again. God, if you heal my dad, I know you can do it again. God, if you pay grandmama's bill, I know you can do it again. God, if you did everything for everybody else, God, I know that you're still able to do it again for me. See, some of y'all ought to pull y'all records just from today. God, you woke me up this morning. God, you clothed me in my right mind. God, you started me on my way. I put on a nice fast clothes. I jumped in my car, went to my job. They got on my nerves, but you kept me from cussing everybody out. So I got back home, came to revival, and now I'm here on tonight, and I just pull your resume, God, that you're still able to do everything that you've done before. Because can I give you some good news? Everything that he did today, he's going to do again tomorrow. So tomorrow when you're ready to cuss somebody out, he's still going to bring you off your job, bring you back to revival on tomorrow night, bring you back to your house, let you go to sleep, wake up, do it all over again. That suggests that if he's done it before, he'll do it again. I'm in need of revival. It is. But then, not only is there a confession of need for revival, a realization that revival is possible, but an acknowledgement of the source of revival. Because see, Well, some of us fail and fall in revival. Is that we're looking for revival of the wrong stuff. See, when we come to revival, we want the choir to sing us up. We want the choir, we want somebody up there with a good old holler who just tear that song up. That's what we look for revival out of. Then you got other folk. Come to church, look for revival after deacon's prayer. That deacon prayed, so I ain't worried about him. Now he all right. But they come looking for revival after deacon's prayer. When the deacon used to pray that, Lord, thank you that my bed was not my cooling board, but my covers were not my winding sheet. That's what they look for revival out of. Then you got other folks look for revival after smooth talking preacher. He ain't the one that you need to be looking for the revival out of, because everybody who's here is just a vessel. The revival is in the one who's using the vessel. Because when you look at the song, he acknowledges him in the text as thou. In verse 6 he says, will thou revive us? So when he says thou, he's talking about him. Okay, see, the problem is some of y'all don't know who him or who thou is. See, when you look at the custom of the Jews, they would use different kinds of teaching, Pastor. They would use Peshat, Sod. I ain't going to teach all that. But one that they would use is Remez. And when they use Remez was a form of teaching that hinted about who he was teaching about. So in the text, he hints who he's talking about. And if you don't know who thou is, he ain't talking to you. If you don't know who thou is, he ain't talking to you. Because see, thou ain't that man, that woman, your car, your marriage, your husband, whatever it is, that ain't who thou is. But see, it's some folk who don't know who thou is, that they looking at their neighbor, asking them neighbor, see, why you shouting, why you crying, why you clapping, why you dancing, why you making all that noise? Move away from me. It's because they don't know who thou is. But when you know who thou is, you can do all that clapping, running, shouting, dancing. You can do all that because you know who thou is. Now see, for y'all got somebody who still ain't shouting, who still ain't saying nothing in service beside you. You ought to just tell that person, if you knew thou like I knew thou, you would be praising thou the same way that I begin to praise thou. I don't even know if this is good English. I'm glad my English teacher ain't here. But thou been good to me. Thou woke me up this morning. Thou told me in my right mind. It was thou who did everything that I needed him to do. It was thou who got me where I am. It was thou who made me where I am. It was thou that I am that I am. It's thou. You can look at Moses. I'm glad Pastor Barry preached, because when God was talking to Moses, he said, when they ask you who sent them, tell them I am that I am. Which means he's everything that I need him to be. When I need a doctor, he can say I am. When I need a lawyer, he can say I am. When I need a healer, he can say I am. When I needed a savior, he said I am that I am. The source of revival. Not only must you know the source of revival, but then it goes to say that you must provide a channel for revival. What does that mean? That means we have to be a medium for revival to take place. That means simply that God has a way of giving us revival, but we reject it ourselves. Because see, some of us stand in our own way of revival. We are our own obstacle of what God is trying to do in our life, because we won't let God in. to do what he wants to do. We won't help God do whatever God is trying to do in your life. See, some of y'all praying for new cars, but you won't pay your bills to get your credit right, so God can't bless you how God wants to bless you. See, you want a wife, but you're looking in the wrong place for a wife, and you want to hooch it, and that ain't what God got in the plan for you. See, brothers don't even want to say amen. Ladies, I ain't left y'all out. See, you want a husband and a real man, but your hands press on, your toes press on, you got weed in your head, and bad blonde, you got a wig for work. See, God trying to bless you with a real man, but you ain't trying to be a real woman. I'm preaching here tonight. Revival requires you to participate in what God is trying to do in your life. Until you are a channel for God. Because the folks in Psalm 85 said, God, we need revival, and we're going to do whatever it takes to get our revival. Until you are a channel for God. And allow God to step in and restore whatever it is that you lost. God can't do what he's trying to do. Some of y'all think God is a cosmic bellhop. You think God is your waiter. You think God is going to come in and wait your table. But God ain't going to do nothing that you won't help him do. We are a channel for God. When you fill out a job application, when you own that application, at least the one that I filled out, I put my name, all that. But at the bottom, it had a space and some blocks that said time availability. And what that suggests is that if you got something to do on Tuesday and you do it every Tuesday at 1 o'clock, don't say you available to work at Tuesday at 1 o'clock because you're going to get fired. So what that suggests to us is that we've got to be available to move when God is ready to move. Some of us ain't ready to do whatever it is that God is trying to do in our life. But I'm the type of person that God, I'm available 24/7, 7 days a week to do whatever it is that you're trying to do in my life. Whatever you're trying to revive, I'm ready for you to revive. Whatever you're trying to revive, I'm available for you to revive. Whatever you're ready to do in my life. God, I'm available when you're ready. Number one must be a confession of the need for revival. Then there must be a realization that revival is possible. Then an acknowledgement of the source of revival. Then we must provide a channel for God to use to revive us. Meaning that we got to be available when God gets ready. But then the last thing that the text begins to suggest is that there are results of revival. That there are some things that happen after God gives revival. Because the rest of the song suggests that when God gives us revival, that God will show us mercy in the revival. And that God will give us salvation after the revival. But what I want to know here tonight is, what do you want out of your revival? Yeah, what do you need out of your revival? Because if you came in here looking for joy for tomorrow, you can have joy in the revival. If you want peace out of the revival, revival. If you want the glory to fall out of revival, you ought to grab your neighbor by the hand and say, neighbor, I came tonight because I need revival. Say, neighbor, I came tonight because I need revival. Say, neighbor, I came tonight because I need my joy. Say, I came tonight because I need my peace back. Say, I came tonight because I need everything that the devil stole from me. And tonight, I get my revival. Do I have a witness that needs revival tonight? You ought to stand on your feet, find you a praise partner, and say, neighbor, revival is here. Say, neighbor, revival is here. Because now the Bible says that through revival I got my salvation. Well, what does that mean? That means 2,000 years ago there was somebody that had to die for me to get my revival. Who had to die? It was Jesus, Mary's baby. Jesus. It was Jesus. Anybody know him? I say, anybody know him? Anybody know him? There's Joseph's stepson. There's David's music. There's Joshua's battle axe. That's Gideon's fleece. Anybody know him? I say, anybody know him? Anybody ever tried him? I say, anybody tried him? One Wednesday evening, I went down in the water. The water was cold, chilled my body, but never touched my soul. Anybody know him? That's Jesus. He healed the sick and he raised the dead. He fed 5,000 with fish and bread. Made a lame man walk, made a dumb man talk, made a blind man see, and made a deaf man hear. Anybody know him? On Friday he died. He died. Anybody know he died? I said he died. He died. Didn't he die? I said he died until the sun refused to shine. He died. Didn't he die? Went down in the grave. The Bible said that he stepped down in shallow, preached to the captive, snatched the keys, stuck them in the heel part, stepped back in the grave. And you know what he did then? You ought to find you somebody and say, neighbor, here's the shouting cue. Say, neighbor, if you ain't shouted all night, here's your time to get your praise on. And say, neighbor, rock 'em and shake 'em and rock 'em, and say, neighbor, y'all. I say, on Sunday morning, you know who got up? Jesus got up. That's my Savior. That's my Savior. I understand why Job said, my Redeemer lives. Because revival got up early on Sunday. Revival got up early on Sunday morning. Revival stepped on a cloud, went away. But one of these days, revival's coming back. Revival's coming back. And that reminds me of a story, and I'm going to leave you alone, about a young man who went to his pastor's house, have a conversation with his pastor. The pastor got up, he kept walking back and forth. He said, Pastor, did I come at a bad time? He said, no, sir, I'm just putting my children to sleep. He said, the funny thing about putting my children to sleep is that they go to bed at different times, but in the morning, when I call them, they all get up at the same time. no more. Then he's gonna put one foot on the sea, put one foot on the dry land. Then he's gonna preach the last revival, and then we're all going home. Anybody going home? Oh yeah! Ain't it all right? I say, ain't it all right? Ain't it all right? Has he been good? Has he been good? Has he been good? Oh yeah! With, all right to die with.